Hello and welcome to our fourth episode of Bottom Line Studio podcast. My name is Linda and I will be the moderator of this episode, and we have a special guest today, Klavs Indriksons, who is now working as a director of finance at Riga Stradins University, and today we will talk about how Klāvs made a transformation from private sector to public, and as well we will talk about the role of technology in finance and also about his journey at Riga Business School. So nice to see you here, and let's start about your career. So how did you choose financial sector, and you have been working at Tvino as a group financial controller as well as senior associate Pricewaterhouse. So what is your story and why finance?
Thank you, Lynn, for having me. So yeah, my journey is quite interesting for me, I guess. So I come from a small town, Klāvs in Kurzeme. So I lived there up until 19 years old, and then I wanted to choose somewhere to go for the higher education. At that time, I didn't have a clue where to go, and I explored that customs and taxes may be the way, but not exactly like initially finance or something. Just first step, quite good. So started studying, and at my first internship, I went to a quite large postal packaging service, the international one, and I really fast noticed that the target, what we were supposed to do, that we were supposed to achieve, the base level specialties, his work isn't actually that interesting, and especially for me. I already had some thoughts, I had some ambition, and I didn't see how my tutor was my internship leader, or however, was working in his position for 15 years. So for myself, I thought I don't want this for 15 years. So, but I already was in the third course out of 4. So then I thought to switch studies isn't quite the best way. So I thought I may just finish and then look in other directions. And for my last internship, I chose one that was actually providing a scholarship. So it was in Pricewaterhouse. It wasn't in external audit initially, but it was in IT audit. So my internship went good, and I was offered a full-time position at I was still studying in my last semester in this bachelor. And I already said yes, because it was interesting. I already saw how the others were breaking the sweat in their work. My internship was part-time, so it was quite easy, but I saw that there are a lot of ambitious and interesting people. I already got some new friends there, so it was for me a great next step. So PwC was an excellent first real job, real full-time job.
What was your responsibility?
So initially I was the junior external auditor. So external audit, it's required by the law for companies to have external financial year audits, and we were one of the top Big 4. PricewaterhouseCoopers is a Big 4 company that offer these financial reporting audit services. So a lot of interesting companies there. It's a challenging job, a lot of working hours. So there's so-called busy season. It's from like this January till April, so they say, but it usually goes till July. But it really teaches you that to achieve something you really need to input work, but it also it teaches a lot about finance. You have the possibility to go to different companies to interview their finance staff, and that's it was really interesting for me. And as well, it is a place where at that time, so in early 20s, it's like student union or something a bit. So you find there the friends. I found their friends for life. I actually found there my wife as well. So did many others. So I really recommend it for a lot of new students that want to come into finance world, and it's a great step, and other companies really value this experience.
And what were the skills that were assessed or valued the most? For example, I worked for Ernst & Young for consultancy department, but at that time I founded coding school for kids, but there is specific type of people with analytical skills, problem solving skills that are very, I would say, aligned to this type of job. What would you say the skills, those students who are interested in finance, what are the profile of employees that are valued there?
Yes, of course, analytical mind. You have attention to detail. Yes, and you are finance people. If you are creative, you are going to marketing, product innovations, and so on. But like pragmatic people, those who are more cautious but who have attention to detail, tend to I believe come to these places. And yeah, it's a great it's the prerequisites. So many of the first year, the new employees, the recruitment, the previous experience actually is not like very important. They do prefer with finance education, but we had really many marketing, even medicine, and so on. So they really value actually. So they will teach you the skills that you need if you start at the entry level, but they value that they see that you are ready to put the work in and to learn. So and you have this analytical mind.
And from your LinkedIn profile, I see that you worked at Twino as a financial controller. So why did you change the companies, and what were your duties there?
So I wanted to go more into business as for me. So we are looking at companies from outside. We are looking at the financial statements. Although the projects are different, the companies are different, and you speak to different people, and you see different business models, but you still look at the same data. So you are not actually like providing an actual benefit for the company's growth. So I wanted to go to the other side of this and the reason why is actually because of my colleagues that were previously in PwC have went there. So I was pretty much invited to join them. And Fintech is a really good place as well to work for new ambitious and thriving young people, young and not even young, because a lot of my ex colleagues still work there, and it's very dynamic. It's they have most of them have this startup culture, so food, parties, and so on, free time. We had PS4 there, or PS3, table football. So it's the culture there for that time was really exciting for me. Yes, and what was really great, and for new and aspiring people, that you have the creative freedom to try new things.
What were the things that you tried or came up?
So interesting. Finance actually, in most cases, is not creative, but coming up with new accounting plans, coming up with new ways to implement automation, how to automate tasks, and it was embraced. So if you had some of the main routine tasks you had to do, but you still had the time in between, and if you offered a good this project idea that you wanted to explore, that then you had the opportunity to pursue it. So I as well. So fintech is really fast moving. The business is going first, and then the other finances are trying to catch up. So they already are doing it, and then you think, well, how to account it, and what the external auditors will say. And yes, this was a game, and one of my the most sophisticated things that for a new product, I created a full accounting scheme. Pretty much, there were the transactions from sales and the repays and so on. So I created in Excel that between two entities, how the transactions will go from one to the other and then come back.
You mentioned the fintech, and Twino is an example of fast-growing fintech. And when I talked to one of the colleagues, and she also has worked in fintech, and they struggle finding a people and attract. And maybe in simple words, can you compare how it is to work in a bank and how it differs from fintech, and where fintech is going? Because now the technology is taking a huge leap in all processes, and how it's connected with finances.
I think the problem is finding the right people. It's everywhere. I think in Latvia they are not alone, and in most cases they are offering the above average salary. So, but why it's difficult? Maybe there's some for the moral reasons, as fintechs mostly are providing. So the higher interest rate offerings. So not banks are taking the better credited, the higher credit rating people, and then fintechs are trying to get the like marginal ones. So I guess some are for some this is not in their moral.
And then I see that you changed your career from a private sector to public. You started working at Riga Stradins University. So why did you take this position? And you have been working there for already 3 years. So it means that you enjoy, and you have moved up in the career within the university. So what's the story there?
So from Twino when the COVID hit, it was an industry in difficulty. So I found myself looking for a new job. And this was a very exciting opportunity for me, so previously I actually did not consider these not weird RSU is not fully public, but still it's like state devised institution. But so this was a early mid management position. So I was head of financial analysis, and it was a part of my ambition to climb the career ladder. And so the position was offered, and I gladly accepted it. And my whole perspective on maybe if it was like the usual without knowing how actually it is, that it's not backward looking and the processes are not up to date, but still so it actually changed my mind completely. So we are very forward looking. We are innovating. The university is doing very well, and it's from financial perspective raising the turnover very rapidly, and very many innovations and new like business sectors, finding business ways. So exciting to work there.
As this podcast is about the technology and innovations that you touched upon, how would you describe implementing innovations in such a large organization?
So it's different. So when comparing to Inno, you had an idea, you were free to go and test it and try it. But here, it's important to acknowledge that it's a 2,000 employee company, and the key motto as well is reputation leader. So it's very important to have very well thought decisions. So the processes as well are not as fast, but still you have to, as all decisions have to go through a much longer confirmation. But still, it's we are, I believe, for these, nevertheless, these complex processes, we are doing really well. That we have very professional people, very professional staff, management, and we are pursuing these new trends and trying to keep up with the not even the Latvian level of higher education institutions, but as well learning from the world leaders.
But in terms of innovation, it starts with the problem solving, right? So can you describe from your position the process of, okay, probably the idea is, the goal is optimizing, and then optimizing some processes, and how do you come up with the technologies, or how do you approach innovation in finance? Or does it start from the top to bottom, or?
No, we have the freedom to pursue new things. When compared where finance was 10-20 years ago, of course, as many other spheres have advanced rapidly. Actually, we have one difficulty facing like very rapid changes is the fact that we are the state-devised institution. So we have strict reporting and regulation demands from the state. So, for example, in accounting system, we have a great partner, Horizon and Visma, right? We had the lecture Antrezālīte was ours. So we really value their products, and they are innovating as well. So we are a bit dependent on them in that sphere. But what goes to new updating processes and choosing new tools, we are trying to look at what's best in the industry, and but we have this. We are not testing everything, but we are trying to look and find the best tools that can help us in currently, and as well explore what the new trends are.
Talking about new trends, what about the artificial intelligence? Now we see on social media that everybody is organizing seminars in their field, integrating AI. How do you see AI is changing university and changing all the processes, or is it just now the trend, but nobody is like deep down implementing it within the systems, or how it's seen now?
So when in university level we actually had organized these AI courses for management, and we are as well implementing it in the study process, so all the study programs can be updated and included in them. And what goes to finance, I believe that AI is currently not in a state that for our desired state could be already implemented.
What is lacking?
So the precision. It's in finance, and especially for us, as we had these very strict regulations, there's not a lot of wiggle room for errors. So it has to improve, but I really see that it's improving fast, and as we have these processes when it's not that easy and fast to implement, and new solutions are coming out not in years but even in months. I believe that soon there will be some tailored solutions to really steamroll our processes. What comes currently, like large language models, of course we are using it in. I personally, it's a good for me personally. It's a good tool for brainstorming, for thinking about new ideas, proposing new ideas, to formulating thoughts, and as well for creating some presentations as well. But yeah, it's still in the early stages, but still the AI itself. But other digitalization tools and machine learning, we are using that really well and in full swing. We are, maybe for others it's already nothing new, but we are implementing Power BI, so we can fully move all these reports to this AI, not AI, but Power BI. So and as well, I'm currently looking at use of bots. So as in finance, there are a lot of routine tasks, so repetitive tasks, especially in accounting, and there's a lot of room for improvement for automating these tasks. And so inputting some information, and the bot in the background is processing this and coming out with an answer, where currently an accountant is doing these things manually.
I have heard about saying that many accountants will lose jobs because of the technology and AI. So how do you think about this opinion, and what would be the role of accountants in the future if they transform their career?
So lose a job, I think, is a overstatement. But I believe in long term, in 10 years. Of course, there will be companies that will work like currently, but I believe that finance will become more from the current finance analysts and accountants, but more to data stewards, like analysts who are overviewing the actual data and seeing with a bit of programming skills, that of course you have to have the knowledge and how to set the boundaries for these processes, but like overviewing if the process is working correctly, but the systems, the tools will actually do the work, because currently there's a lot of required this quite manual labor. There will still be a lot of demand, and even more demand for the highly qualified specialists. But I believe that there in 10 years there will not be need for such a large finance teams, but still you will have even more skilled workers to manage this system. So it's transforming for the industry and on the finance sector for companies, for sure.
I like what you mentioned, data stewards. And then I was thinking, what would be the steps to upskill? Like upskill also maybe your team members, because of course there are existing programs, existing so many courses about, but how to think about becoming a data analyst and data overviewer, for example, in 3 years, because this is actually what you are also doing. So what would be that you think logical, like step by step to, in the 3 years, if there are less accountants, then those people are skilled and don't lose the jobs.
So upskilling and growing inside the organization, of course, is the key. As you mentioned previously, we had this conversation that there's a lack of specialists in a lot. You mentioned in Fintech, and I said it's pretty much everywhere. So you have to grow them by ourselves. Like currently, we had this Power BI. Our whole analytics team went to these courses. So we discovered how they work, how to perform some basic coding in DAX. So what's the language in Power BI, and we are the first innovators will be few, but I think it's possible to move the workforce and to learn these key skills required for the future workforce. But it will be adjustment, of course, but I think this change is coming for a lot of industries and then specialties.
You mentioned the coding, which is a close topic to what I'm also have been specializing in a way, but more from the educational perspective. So you haven't probably had a coding experience before, so now you have learned, that has been now part of your job, also understanding the principles of programming.
So yes, I have not had an official education, but coding was actually, it has been like quite a hobby, a passion of mine, like since early days. So when I chose the bachelor in customs and taxes, my other option that I thought that was programming. So I'm programmed that way, I guess. So this analytical thinking and seeing through code. And I mentioned in Trino that one of my this creative work was pretty much a program, a list of code done in Excel. So it's easy for me to understand these how it corresponds to many things, to read the code. But of course, for example, for this Power BI, the courses were really good for me, but of course for some it comes not naturally, and some really need to put in the work.
You mentioned the courses that that was held by the company. How long was the course? And I know those who are in financial sector and those who have this problem solving natural skill, they really easily learn programming. What I also see from the kids who are good in the math, they also catch up with the programming. So how long was the course, and did you learn specific language, or so do you see that, okay, because now we see a lot of programming courses, so is it for everyone, or what's your view about the programming and the skills, because everybody is now talking about upskilling in data science, in fundamentals of programming?
So what goes to these Power BI courses, we had, I believe, 5 of them, and it was 3 hours each. So, and we as well took a single topic. So we tried to bring into Power BI one report. So, and so it was Power BI languages is the DAX, but for me at least, most of the languages have the principles are similar. So you are just using some other like combinations. If you mentioned, so if of course programming isn't for everybody, but it is a skill, and it will sort itself out who are better at it. But it's a very, very valuable skill to have for the future workforce, to have the best, highest paying jobs, to be the most desired specialist for the companies. So it's, I'm not sure if it is very important to, if you are a programmer, then knowing some exact coding languages is important. But if you are, for example, a specialist in finance, I think you have to know the principles more, how it works, as the tools will advance. I believe very shortly, as AI will take over and showing new tools. So, but you need to learn how to read it and how to interact with IT team and build these processes and fundamentals of the required result together. So I do not believe that all people in finance, for example, have to be coders and have to write the code themselves. Now, of course, there will be IT department that you have to interact with them and understand if something is wrong, what's wrong, and tell them what they need to fix.
But where to start? I know it really depends on the team lead and also the skill of the companies, but for those who are willing to upskill, so where to start if they are accountants?
Great question. Where to start? I guess start with your employer. If you are already working, I guess, demanded that there are a lot of courses, and actually my members of my team we found a new one that was offered as well by an external company about ChatGPT and its implementation in.
How did you select the course?
It was offered to us by, so university receives many offers, as we have a lot of employees, a lot of upskilling required. So we'll see what they end up with there. And as well, for example, our requirement, I require for others if they visit these courses, so they as well share with others their findings, and if it's very useful for them, then we try to involve more other colleagues as well. So, but I don't have the answer where to start.
So choose the company that is willing to invest in their people.
Yes.
Let's look, for example, in next 10 years. Now you're working at Riga Stradins University. Your career profile shows that you're ambitious, and you're working now as director of finance, and also you have a lot of impact to make decisions. What would be the ideal scenario for Stradins University in terms of technology from your field?
From my field,
because probably you are now drawing a lot of scenarios and decisions are made, and universities are competing. So who's going to make this digital effective transformation?
So from finance perspective, of course, we need to allocate a lot of resources as we are. As I mentioned, upskill, moving the use of large language models in courses, in curriculum. And what goes to university, of course, innovations is really important to move up, not only with, for example, the Latvian universities and others, but see what the industry, what world is going, and trying to move at the same speed. As I think in this environment, a lot of, even all the universities are at risk that they're offering this long format of education is not desired by a lot of people. If they prefer shorter formats. So I think more needs to be done to invest in shorter education formats and more concentrated about specific skills. It as well means more collaboration with industry. So industry knows what they need, and we need to have a great understanding between, as we are providing not only the industry but the whole nation is pretty much, universities are creating these highly skilled workforce. So it is really key that universities as well are bringing this, being up to trend. And more in Latvia, since it was a few years ago that universities were reclassified into few science universities. So Riga Stradins University is one of them. So we have additional new focus that we need to invest a lot and focus on the scientific results, as these scientists will generate, at least it's hope that they will generate more innovations in industries and so on. Yeah. So.
It's interesting that you mentioned about short-term courses, and a lot of educators have talked about the micro credentials. If I understood correctly, then in the terms of financial sector, and also linking to what we talked about, upskilling the employees. So what would be these micro-credential courses, for example, that would help people to be more ready to the future and to the technology?
So in many sectors, I believe, for example, I had customs and taxes, and so if I want to be this customs manager, for example, I had a 4-year program, and I believe I could do it in 2 years, and the result for that key purpose would be sufficient. And but if we are looking, there's not a lot of freedom for. It depends. I believe in Riga Business School, it's possible to choose and pick what modules you like more, and like a bit concentrate and focus on the things you want. but yes, this finding and like you could where students could pick more what they really want, and they could see what the industry wants. So not only
and more personalized courses.
Personalized.
Thank you, Klāvs, for this discussion. I think we touched upon many aspects from the technology role in the financial sector, and taking into consideration about AI and machine learning and all the technologies that are still waiting for us in the future. It's important to be connected with the industry, what's happening outside Latvia. As we know, like, we are a small country, and also think about how we can upskill. And I know that in financial sector is very important, as it really affects all the processes and what decisions are made, and those who will keep up with the technology and will build strong teams will be those who will make and implement these innovations. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.